Today on Nerdalific, we're going to look at the Sumifs formula. Welcome back. On the last video, we looked at how to do a basic sum-if formula, which is summing a series of data based on one specific criteria. We looked at how to sum based on the month and how to sum based on the employee name. This time, we're going to look at how to sum based on the employee name and the month. We're going to start in this cell right here. We're going to find out how many sales Amber did in the month of January. So we'll start by typing equals sumifs, hit tab. Now, the difference between the sumif and sumifs is the fact that the very first section is actually going to be the sum range, not the criteria range. Let's drag our mouse cursor all the way down on the number of sales section and hit F4 for your absolute referencing. Hit comma. Now, the first criteria is we are going to look for Amber first. So, this is the criteria range. We're going to select cells F5 through F29 and hit F4. Okay? This is the range that we're going to look for the name Amber in. Now we're going to hit comma. Now it's looking for the criteria that you would like to find in that specified section in red. So for this one, we're going to select I-17. Now we are going to select absolute referencing this time, which I will explain to you shortly. Now hit comma again. Now the rest of this is optional, and you need to have at least one set of criteria to look for, but you can do more than just one set, and you could keep going for quite some time. So let's hit comma. Criteria range number 2. All right, the range. Now we're going to find the month January. So let's highlight the months. Hit F4 for absolute referencing so that our formula does not move when we copy the formula into other cells. Comma. Now we are going to look for the month of January. So let's just click on the cell J16. We are going to copy this formula to the right. In order for this to work, we need to make sure that the 16 stays. The J can move because as we move the formula over to the right, we want to allow the formula to change to K16 and L16. Now when we use the absolute referencing, we are going to hit it 2 times. 1, 2. Now what this does is it tells Excel it's okay if you move the J to a different column heading. Don't move my 16. So now we're going to close the bracket and hit enter. And as you can see, it is showing only 2 sales for Amber for the month of January. Now let's just take a look here. January. We're just going to double check our formula here. So yes, we have January for 2 and it is Amber. Alright, let's test out dragging this formula over. Hover over the bottom right hand corner and drag it over to the right. Now just to double check, I'm going to click on this February one. Now in the formula row up here, I'm going to click on the formula bar so that it highlights all the colors and we'll know what cells it's referencing. And yes, it is referencing February K16, it is referencing Amber, and that has the accurate ranges selected. So that was fun. Now because we have selected some absolute referencing in different sections, we are not going to be able to drag these formulas down and keep it accurate. We need to change 2 absolute referencings to be able to drag this down. Now the first one that we need to be able to move is the name, the employee name, which is I-17. So I'm going to hit F4 until the referencing is completely gone. Same with this. We do not want the 16 to change, so we can leave the referencing on the 16. When we copy the formula down, it's not going to move the J. The J will only move if you're copying the formula over to the right or to the left. It will not change if you're moving down because we're still in the same column. So let's copy this formula down and then we'll check it. We're going to activate the formula so we can see the colors and make sure everything lines up. Yep, it's looking for Chris, it's looking for January. All of the criteria ranges are accurate. We're good to go. Now you could do one of two things here. You could go into each of these and do the same thing and change the referencing on the name so that it moves. Or we could go back to here and re-add the absolute referencing. So I'm going to add the absolute referencing here. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one. We're going to add the absolute referencing to the name to make sure that we don't change names. All right, now we're going to copy the formula over to the right. We're going to double check our formula by clicking on the formula bar. All the colors line up. And we're going to do it again for March. We want to make sure all of our data is accurate. Let's check this one. Yep, that one's right. And this formula, that one is also right. Wonderful. So now you have learned how to do a basic sum-if statement on the previous video, and you've also learned how to do a sum-ifs statement. Now there are more advanced ways of using the sum-ifs statement by specific dates. You can select a date range, say if we wanted to look between January 1st and January 15th, if you had specific dates listed on the data range. You could say anything greater than January 1st and less than and equal to January 15th. Watch for a future video for more detailed information on how to do a more advanced sum-ifs statement. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next video.